It's a classic. Okay. Yeah. Okay, nice. I like this. So it's been a while. I've basically figured out after about 2-3 years that scalping the 1 minute chart just isn't for me. Like it's too quick. You know, you've got to be so on point. I think it's served me well in like developing my technical analysis, you know, working with the charts, seeing patterns. So obviously on the 1 minute chart, you get a lot more information. So, you know, I think it's served me well, but it's just, you know, I can lose like 3 trades very quickly, start like over leveraging, and like within 5 minutes, I'm down and I'm just shaken, obviously on tilt. So the point is now I've kind of basically changed my strategy. Now I'm really working around the like 15 minute and the 1 hour, you know, being a lot more like institutional time frames. You know, things happen on the 15 minute and the 1 hour, supposedly anyway, when it comes to, you know, institutions and things. So ideally they're looking at these charts. Either way, it's definitely a more slower paced, you know, trading style strategy. So anyway, so what I do, just I'll show you briefly, is on the weekly. So every weekend, once the market's closed, I set the blue line is last week's high, the orange line's last week's low. Then I have the middle point, which I use a Fibonacci like a tool that I've like edited. Then obviously mark, as you can see there, the open and the close, right? So now I have these 5 levels. When I come down to like the hourly, and obviously this blue line here is the beginning of the week. So come down to the hourly, we can then see, well, the idea then is when we're at a specific level, I then look for like a rejection. So like ideally, if we're bullish, you know, and this pulled back to this mid-level, I'd look for an entry, right? Or, you know, if we sort of, I don't know, potentially come over last week's high, you know, I might look for a cheeky short because, you know, I think we're probably going to dip down. And then the targets being the levels. So that might not be a great one. Let's see if there's something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, these are notes we're going to go through, but like, look at this. So the week opened here, came down to this midpoint here, and we then tore up to this level. Like it's obviously it's not bang on. I don't care about bang on. Like there's zones. So you can see week opened down to the middle of last week. As you can see, look, that's where that was the low, that was the high last week, midpoint, the open, and obviously the close, right? So look, we opened, we came down to the midpoint. I got in, we'll discuss it. Then we've come up to here. So again, it's a rejection. Probably, you know, you can then start to look for, you know, is it going to be something around there? Who knows? Who knows? And I don't trade. I only trade the New York Open between 1 and 3. So okay, yeah, that's basically how I trade. So if we come down to the 15-minute, yeah, it's so silly. Yeah, 15 minute, we dropped below this level, and then we got this here. Can you see it? That engulfing candle, which I got in before it closed, and it closed quite concerningly as like that like long leg doji, but it carried on going. Problem is, I actually cut out. I jumped out because I go down to the lower time frames to get in, and then you can see here. Yeah, look, I think we hit that, pulled back again, and I got a bit shaken, and I was in another trade at the same time, which was doing really well. So I thought, you know, I'll just bag my like 1 hour profit here, and then let the other trade make the rest of my fucking daily profit, whatever. Don't know. just thought, fuck it, the other trade's looking really good, let's just get out, I'm concerned. Anyway, actually, yeah, it's a holding issue. Look, if I'd have just stuck with my guns, and also I could have set my target to this fucking level, yeah, which I could have done, which would have been a fucking 5.61R. So like I say, bit of a holding issue, and a holding issue is really not accepting the loss. It's like I'm just getting too attached to the live profit. So anyway, I cut that. I know I need to work on that. I know I just need to go with it. The other trade was here. I'm not sure, why did I get into this? Why did I get into it? So on the hourly, what were things looking like? Look, see. Yes, I actually had this in place. So yeah, I mean, obviously this, all right. So obviously this is a pretty, like, as we came through, we were here, that's right. So I had this level marked out. Again, it's it's like there's a bit of discretion in all of this. Like, this is obviously a bloody previous resistance, potential support now that we were above it. So then on, I guess, the 5, that was it. So yeah, so we're coming up, we had this lovely pullback, and then I think on the 1 minute, I remember this fucking beautiful, this crazy candle, this here, see this? Is it called a flipping hammer? So yeah, we came down below here, below this liquidity level, not quite this liquidity, but just got that. So use that as a trigger. And again, like, there was so much more in it. Oh. Look, and then it basically, again, came to this level. Yeah, like the open from last week. So anyway, so that was it. Yeah, I was out after that. Just those 2 little trades basically. So this was 2R, the other one was 1R, but I had made a few fumble attempts to get into that DAX trade. Oh yeah, also, so I've got all these, this is my watch list basically. So at 1 o'clock GMT, I'll just scan through all of these. It's basically the big indexes, so the NASDAQ, the FTSE, the DAX, gold, and then the majors and the pound yen. So that's really, I don't know, I like the pound yen. I like the way it moves. Look at these like lovely lines. Ooh. So yeah, that's basically it. I won't bang on yet. Just walked away 1.25%. Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. Comment or anything if you need to be. If I missed anything out, if you want to know anything, give me a shout. Cheers.